Radiant team ban.
Hello everybody and welcome to the Learn Dota 2 League Season 13, Week 7. It's the final game. With me here today is Randy. What's going on, Randy?
Hey.
Now Randy, as you remember, because you saw the last game, last time MK-Ulty came in with a very bad draft, and it did not pan out for them. See what happens this time. Notably, DaBush Did 9/11, looking a lot at Mickle there. Getting rid of the Storm Spirit in particular.
Can you explain the Skywrath ban to me?
Skywrath, Hollywood played Skywrath in the last round and owned with it. It was a really...
yeah, I remember them mentioning this.
It was a really bad Skywrath game, and he still did pretty good in it, so... Really mostly in lane. After that, he was just kind of the guy that Ricky ate, but in lane, it was really bad.
Dire team pick.
You don't want to just randomly lose your safe lane.
Absolutely.
For no good reason.
Absolutely.
Hero, first
Not
pick.
What I expected.
No real surprise there. Who do you think is going to be playing that, Randy?
I wonder. Maybe, DaBush.
Probably, yeah. It's probably Pause 1 Jakiro this time, if I'm guessing.
Jakiro is the best hero. For any role.
First big Venomancer. I know Mickle. I talked with Mickle between last game and now. And that definitely wasn't because I had time, because Randy said Randy said he would be back in an hour and just left like your dad when he said he was going to go get cigarettes.
Hey.
Hi.
Hi.
And he mentioned how there were like threes he was picking just because he was really excited to run some threes, which explains his fend from the last game. He just wanted to see how that worked in context. Answer was not that
threes, dude.
Venomancer might be 3, might be support line. Always hard to tell with Veno. I think you can flex it if you don't like the look of things to a degree. Ember Spirit.
Early Ember.
Very early. Yeah, that's true. Yeah, but I have a really good plan.
Pick.
That's absolutely not what I expected.
Notably, they didn't even, you know, if they were first pick, picking Ember here would make a little bit more sense, but...
5 seconds.
I mean, in fairness, it's not like there are that many heroes in the game that I would say are outright Ember Spirit counters. It's not somebody that you can just kind of put into a bottle and be done with. You know, Silencer obviously very bad, Bane obviously very bad, Enigma to a good degree.
Radiant team ban.
You know, the BKB going through type guys. Comes LC, that's somebody Ember doesn't want to see. But I think the fact that Ember Spirit doesn't want to see LC comes secondary to the fact that like half the roster of the entire game, LC doesn't want to see.
Yeah, LC is in a bad spot right now. Hopefully,
I don't think it's necessarily a bad spot, I think it's a bad pick spot. I think there are too many heroes that just counter LC too well to just confidently pick her so early on the board. I think ever. Even when she's good, it's still a very hard argument for it. Because it's like, you know, there's a lot of picks that just really own LC. I mean, I know I'm biased, because of course I am, but like, Abaddon in particular is just one of the nastiest matchups in the entire game for LC. Not only means that you can't ever duel the 3, or whatever he is, might be 4 or 5 depending on how you like it, but not only does it mean you can't duel Abaddon, but you also can't duel anybody around Abaddon, or else you're just going to lose the duel every time unless he's silenced by something. He has so many ways to pop.
We'll see a specific counter pick for LC and Abaddon, but I could be wrong. Abaddon doesn't seem like the kind of hero who'd show up for this MK-Ulty team.
Dire team pick.
Yeah, probably not, but... Just an example of how bad some of the matchups for LC are. I mean, there's just some matchups in the game where it's like, if they're on the board, you just don't win any duels. If you don't like Abaddon, here's one for you, Oracle.
10
basically
seconds
forces
remaining.
you to either duel him or lose every duel.
5
Dazzle
seconds
also
remaining.
pretty bad on that front. I mean, you can draft Axe, but then you basically got 2 3s in the game. Where are you gonna lane him? Gonna
Mid.
send LC mid? Gonna send Axe mid? Very brave.
Send X mid. That's the play.
Absolutely. I mean, we saw a CK mid from one of the games this week, so...
Oh, who was playing that?
You want to take a guess? Oh, right, you don't talk to Blue Jay anymore, so you wouldn't have the inside knowledge on this. United States Daniel.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, he actually did fairly well for himself for last hits, but, like, obviously that wasn't happening.
Kunka.
Amorante Kunka. It's probably going to be Matt Kunka. It's probably going to be a pause 3 Kunka, which is unusual, but... Matt
Could be a
has certain
pause
style of
1
this.
10
Ember.
seconds remaining.
Yeah, it could also be a pause 1 Ember and a pause 2 Kunka, but... Kunka,
5 seconds
you know, I would say traditionally, if I'm associating anyone with Kunka on MK-Ulty, it's probably Godlike Matt.
Radiant
Has a
team
storied history of it.
Shadow Shaman for...
Has a history of both playing it and playing it on pause 3. So, did a lot of that for LDR last season.
I was gonna say Shadow Shaman for Pahoro, but we already have the Jakiro.
Yeah,
10
that's
seconds
2
remaining.
Pahoro heroes.
it's probably Shaman on Hollywood.
5 seconds remaining.
I don't know how much it matters, but... Notably, there's actually still a support left in the MK-Ulti pool, which is interesting. I can tell you this much: if the play was to go like Witch Doctor, now you've got a good reason to not do that. Well, I don't know. It's not actually that bad outside of the Jakiro, but the Jakiro is really bad for him. I mean, this is just going to be Oracle, right? This is going to be Pager's Oracle or Dazzle. Like, I feel like almost how could it not be? Just waiting out any chance AA gets put on the map.
Dire team pick.
I am the Juggernaut. And it's somebody that certainly neither Ember Spirit nor Kunkka want to see.
Radiant team ban.
And yep, there it is,
There's
Dazzle.
the Dazzle.
It's gonna make life a lot harder for LC in particular.
Dire team ban.
Let's not forget that's also not really somebody that Jug likes to see particularly much either.
I really thought that the Bush would be the side banning
Radiant
more pause
team
1s. They're very light on pause 1 bans against Lambert, which is surprising.
It's true. I mean, it's a pretty classic case against MK-Ulti. Even the Quab circles did it at one particular person's behest, is to underestimate the value of Lambert. I'm a little more surprised that Dazzle got through, to be honest with you. It seems like a very predictable Patriots hero, and it just kind of in a very good game. I mean, I was saying, you know, it's going to make life really hard for LC, but one other person it's going to make life really tough for is Juggernaut. I mean, if somebody gets shallow graved during the Omni Slash, and they and the positioning for it is right, they can just take the Omni Slash really far away.
10 seconds remaining.
Just let
So,
it expire.
The Bush here are assuming
5
Ember Spirit
seconds
1
remaining.
and Kunkka 2, it seems, spanning 2 offlaners in the last phase.
I mean, they could. It's definitely a lineup that has a lot of flexibility. But I would say
Radiant
I
team
associate Ember with Mickle and I associate Kunkka with Godlike Matt. Doesn't necessarily mean that's how we're running things. But that's what I be associating.
pick. 10 seconds remaining. 5 seconds remaining.
A lot of attention being paid with Godlike Matt. I would say probably 4 of those bans are for him, which means that this is Kunkka. Manoy's gonna feel like a big fool. MK-Ulty, of course, flexed in the first game, which ended up in a major disaster as Ricky took on Huskar mid, got no last hits, and cried himself to sleep. Sad.
Sand King mid for Manoy.
Probably. That's what I would assume, yeah.
Ten seconds remaining. 5 seconds remaining.
I'm hoping this is a Lambert last pick.
I think it's pretty likely. I can tell you this much, nothing has dissuaded me from putting Kunkka on 3, nor putting Ember Spirit on 2. In fact, Kunkka versus Jog ain't a bad matchup for Kunkka. Tidebringer is just not the kind of skill that Juggernaut likes to deal with.
I just find Ember Spirit pause 1 very, very boring.
You know, this is probably going to be the most watched cast you're going to be a part of this season, if I'm betting.
Really?
You may now select your
Yeah, these are
heroes.
two, like, top contender teams, so going to be a lot of eyes on this one. And yep, as predicted, that's Mickle on the Ember, Kunkka being played by Godlike Matt, and Lambert was left for last, gave him a Monkey King, so living up to the name of the team. I like the Monkey King here. It's another, like, without any breaks on that lineup, LC can't duel Monkey King unless she's really stupid. It's actually just a really, like, who do you duel in this game? Literally the only good target is Venomancer. And that's going to help out a lot in getting support picks, and going to help out absolutely none in getting anything else done. They really kind of put LC in a corner here. Because it's like, well, Kunkka's not going to let you duel him. And even if Kunkka does get dueled, he is tanky enough, especially if he's playing pause 3, and swarthy enough where he has a very good chance to just kick your ass unless you are far enough ahead on the duel damages anyway. Dueling Monkey King is a fool's endeavor, and I do not recommend that you try it at home without a silver edge, and be careful even if you do have one. You know, you try to duel the Ember Spirit, and, well, there's basically no way you get away with it. That's what Dazzle's going to be watching for the absolute most in this roster. Now, if Dazzle's not close to the Ember Spirit, then that is free food for LC. That is everything LC wants and dreams of. But I don't think Pages is going to let this happen.
That's absolutely.
It's a lot easier
not
to
what-
go on that
absolutely
duel than
not
to go
what I
on, like,
Prepare for battle.
Chronosphere or something. The
This
positioning
is
requirement...
absolutely not what they expected.
That's true, they've been spamming that sound clip this entire series. Lambert says
And I would
trust him.
know because I was here for it.
Yeah, that's true. You were here, Andy. Oh yeah, Mickle had to play this game at an internet cafe.
How'd that happen?
His, like, internet or electricity, I think it was his internet, just went out, and he was like, I can't miss this game. And I know that in advance because I was messaging him because I was trying to keep on top of the, stand-in situation because, why no Sven ban?
I feel like that's a big disadvantage. Also, is this why they had to play the series early?
That's absolutely
Don't think
not
so.
what I expected.
I think the early time was an advance. It didn't actually get made. The match happened at pretty much normal time.
There's a lot of chatting here.
The battle begins.
It's true. Everybody has a lot to say.
Everyone in this game is very good friends.
What you gotta understand, Lambert, is that issues like this are what the Hands Across LD2L fund is going to be for.
You will be forever.
We're gonna fund Rada's life-saving medicine and surgery. We're gonna fund Bean's transition, and we're going to fund Mickle's internet cafe connection, all on Hands Across LD2L.
Is a good cause.
It's true. Are you going to be singing at Hands Across LD2L?
What would I sing?
Absolutely
Anaconda.
not what I expected. Absolutely.
Yeah, I'll make my LD2L performance debut.
Don't you mean to butt?
No.
This is interesting. They're laning backwards in this game. They've got the off lanes and the safe lanes facing each other in this one, which is interesting. I don't know why DaBush Did 911 elected to do this. I guess because Jug into Kunkka is such a bad matchup, but I mean, I would not really say that Kunkka or that Jug into Monkey King is really that much better for him. Especially now with the Dazzle here. I mean, it's basically going to come down to this. It's going to be really simple. Monkey King is going to have the ability to kill Jug. Jug is not going to have the ability to kill Monkey King unless things go really well for Jakiro here, and that's a hard call. Especially again.
I might be wrong, but I think that Vex is the big winner of this lane swap, personally.
Maybe, yeah. They might be doing it to boost the LC, but if they're doing it to boost the LC, I don't know if I necessarily agree with that policy. Like, because again, you know, what does LC really get? I mean, it's just another, you know, you don't want to face this hero type situation for LC. Either side lane was going to get cursed by this. But like, you know, what does LC have a hard time dealing with?
That's
Just
absolutely
long-term,
not what I
the alpha damage, right?
Mm-hmm.
The short burst alpha damage over a long period of time. And you got that.
Brave.
Oof, yeah. You got that, and you got a. Oh, good plan on turning around there.
You crazy, Vex. The hell?
Dire's middle tower is under attack.
Well, that just is. I don't know. That's like going to be a typical scene in this lane. I think.
Scanning.
Mm-hmm.
Like, this is no better for either of these lanes. I don't think. I don't know who called the lane swap, but I don't think I agree with that. I think you're just better off trying to get Jug some more farm. Because if there's going to be one person in this game who can do something for you, it is Jug.
Dire's middle
And I don't
tower
think,
is under
you
attack.
know, just sending him to the offlane, I think what he's going to lose from being up here is not going to be worth anything he could possibly get on like a 2% better lane matchup. Kunkka didn't get that last hit. Didn't get that one either. This is so sad. This is a funny little positioning dilemma here. This is one of these mids where so far it's like not really competing with each other for the most part, which I mean, how are you going to? Like, level 2 Flame Guard equals Sand King really just can't kill Ember Spirit, for now at least, without a rotation, but like, they're not really trying to, neither Ember nor Sand King are trying to interfere that much with each other's farm. Kinda doing it. Hollywood here.
This isn't.
Oh, the torrent missed!
The position. Oh, nice. Very
I don't know.
lucky, Hollywood.
Yeah, I don't know how the torrent missed, but it did. I think he was trying to get a little too cute with, oh! See how that just went down. I think they tried to get a little too cute. Okay, Paige is just getting run over with the Juggernaut Q there. I think they were trying to get a little too cute with the positioning there, just trying to make sure that that they were getting both the people in there, but a Sav is not going to work.
This probably isn't worth it if Pahoho dies.
Oh no, it was already not great for them. But like,
Yeah, I agree.
now it's
And
really
Lambert
bad.
just relentlessly chasing her.
Yep, all the way into her own secret shop. And again, Juggernaut can't do anything about this. Like, he can walk at Dazzle till the cows come home, but he got first blood, and that's great. But he got it at the cost of this entire lane's life, and he threw that all to the enemy pause one. So now, if this was like a 3, if this was a pause 3 that just got that first blood, if it was a boss 3 jug or something, then that would be okay. But that's not what we're doing here, very clearly. And again, I think that just kind of more pointing towards, well, if we're lane swapping, it's certainly not for Jug at the very least. Well, notably
Did you
so
know-
far.
Anani,
Yeah,
it's Morbin time.
I had no idea. I can't believe he's sponsored by that. Yeah.
Jared Leto himself signed the deal with
Dire's
Vex.
middle
Jared
tower
what?
is under attack.
Jared Leto?
Thanks.
I was going to say DaBush is up on last hit so far, but that's no longer true, as now Monkey King is starting to come ahead on Juggernaut. And when I say DaBush, I meant the team, not personally DaBush.
Oh.
Yeah, I
Important
know.
distinction.
Yeah, it is. So. Vex taking out the camp here, while a guy like Matt is smashing up the wave. Crazy King is doing his part to try and make this a mess. I do like the decision to stop and beat the one last creep there. Huh?
Radiant structures are
What just happened? Oh, Manoy rotated. Okay. Manoy rotated, and Patriots does not have a level of grave yet. Okay.
are fortified.
Absolutely not what I expected.
I do get this unfortunate feeling that that was not necessarily a missing call, but it will happen sometimes. That is definitely good for the Manoy lineup there. Pulling out Sand King ain't the best thing in the world, but it's certainly good if we're gonna get a very casual knockout on Lambert for it. Hopefully Hollywood has rotated mid. They are kind of increasingly looking willing to sack this offlane. Elsie has been getting good last hits so far, but you know, not like pause 3 in the safe lane levels of last hits by any stretch of the imagination.
Yeah, I think Vex is doing a good job at taking everything he can.
Shallow Grave
While
comes
people
up.
rotate.
Shallow Grave is up now, which means that further rotations will probably not find themselves being rewarded. Otherwise, it's very slow and stable here. Shadow Shaman is missing. Yep, he's just sitting mid, waiting to try get Sanking a kill on the Ember Spirit, but I just don't know if that's really all that likely.
That's
Embers of the
absolutely
Bush
not
up here
what I
top.
expected.
Trying to look at Lambert. Lambert does not see this coming at all.
Illusion.
He appears to be totally blind to the proceedings here, but I don't know how much that matters.
Radiant are scanning.
Bad news for Patriots.
Radiant's bottom tower is under attack.
Never mind.
Dire's courier
Bad news
has
for
been
Lambert's sword. I'll never get that Battle Fury. We're gonna try and surround Lambert up here. And against a lot of pause ones, this will be a really good strategy, but I don't know if this is the call against Monkey King. He can just kind of ignore you and leave, can he? That's giving...
Monkey King's portrait looks like an illusion.
Yeah, it does. Dazzle Shallow graved herself right in time for the duel there, but unfortunately level 1 grave is just not quite enough to stop the whole thing. Vex is so tanky, but it doesn't matter. Still going to go down to his former lane opponent, Kunkka, who has rotated here. Definitely worth it for Vex, if nothing more comes of this. Get the dual win. Even if you don't get Monkey King, getting the dual win is still very big at this point.
Gold for my
Especially under so much adversity there. DaBush definitely was about to drop Omni on, oh no, actually wasn't about to drop. What the hell did he Omni? Nobody died. What happened? Did he Omni Dazzle in that? I guess that must have been it. We're taking these waves as effectively as possible. It should be really noted, I think, that at this point, Lambert, who is a safe lane in the safe lane, got less last hits in an off lane in the safe lane, which is usually like one of the easiest things in the game. Like one of the best positions you can be in last hit wise, basically. You're
Leaving
already...
Jakiro to defend this top and against the Monkey King. I think they're gonna try to kill her here.
Yep.
Bad choice by the Bush team.
Yep.
Maybe Juggernaut should have been here defending against the Monkey King.
I mean, I doubt Jug accomplishes anything. It's kind of the problem there. It's like, Jug should be top, okay, and do what?
He at
spin?
least gets the farm. Gets the farm, saves the tower, and his support doesn't die.
I don't think his support doesn't die. I think he just kind of just killed Akira anyway. I don't think Jug can just... certainly not without Omni Slash, and Omni Slash is long on cooldown. Only it's just now coming back. I have some stacks to take here, which is gonna start putting his net worth up. Well, he's just gonna eat crazy cake. Look at that net worth chart. The two most notable things here is that... oh, god damn, I'm missing everything here. Oh my god.
Oh no,
This
Vex.
is so ambitious. That was
He just
so...
barely won it and got
Yep.
dual damage.
Yep, barely win is still a win, and Ember Spirit can make a
And
hell
here
of a
come the
lot...
tips.
Yep. Ember Spirit can make a hell of a lot better use of that dual damage than LC herself can, frankly. You want to talk about a How can I tip me?
Dire's top tower is under attack.
Paige is out here stewarding this offlane while nobody's
Dire's
home.
structures are
And
fortified.
again, this is good. I've talked before about how Paige sometimes falls into the trap of being that Stepford support. And, you know, moves like this, where it's like, you're not denying anybody anything by being down here. And there's not really, I mean, you could go top if you want to just die instantly, right? It's not like there's really better spots to be in. Oh. Okay. Good thing she didn't reveal there.
Oh, bounty.
So, stewarding this offlane, I'm going to give her a little bit of money, which is nice, and going to give her a lot of XP, which is probably more important.
Flames will spread thrice.
So... a pig pole for Elsie. Ah, so sad for Manoy.
Manoy just eats both supports.
And then just immediately throws all that money into Lambert's pocket. Lambert and Mickle as well. If there's a trio of people who have defined this season so far, what you're seeing on screen might be that. If there's a trio of people you do not want to see second, third, and fourth place on that net worth chart, especially when first place is a Sand King, here you go. Here you go. Guy like Matt is finishing up very soon a Shadow Blade. Dazzle in here stealing the bounty runes.
Dire's top tower is under attack.
Boy, coming in on the back line. Trying to slow down this push. I mean, honestly, I think the play here is just Flame Guard and eat it, but... since you know his ult's down. But I guess if you're thinking about, you know, TP Omni, it's not so great. Bush is having a hard time actually keeping up with the jungling right now. Without a Battle Fury, even with the Healing Ward, he's kind of struggling to make headway in there. Ahara will now be eliminated from this universe.
Radiant's middle tower
He only needs 200 more gold for his Maelstrom.
That is good.
Dire's
I said Battle Fury, but I meant AoE right click and shit. They found LC back here. There's no like opportunity to do much. Gonna try and run deep for duel here on Crazy King. The Shallow Grave comes out, stops that from going anywhere. Venomancer is gonna go down, but not for much. Certainly for no duel wins. Manoy comes in here to try and stop anybody from interfering with this kill on Pages, but it doesn't really work out. Very well placed Torrent there. Kinda puts a stop to that. Mickle is coming back. Ember Spirit's back in this fight now. Macropire just hits absolutely nothing, going nowhere. Hex comes out. Ember Spirit's stunned. It feels like forever, but Vex actually has to walk away from the, fire shield there. Omni Slash out on Ember Spirit, but that's Ember Spirit. That's not gonna work. On one hand, they did lose Godlike Matt there. They did lose a lot more money. Okay, now if this happens, this is looking really bad for Mickle.
I think you can get out. Oh man. I believe too hard.
Yep. Okay, if that happens, it's worth it. If that didn't happen, then this would not be a big deal for MK-Ulty, but because they ended up finding Ember Spirit at the end, it suddenly is. At least they lose a T1 tower for it. I guess they gain a Tier 1 tower on the enemy for it. But Godlike Matt is tired of dealing with Manoy and drops everything on him. Unfortunately, he has no detection, so he can only look angrily at him. Please, he says, somebody do something about this. Nobody is going to do anything about it. Anyway, notably in that last fight, Godlike Matt moved down a position under Juggernaut, and that's really bad. On the other hand, Manoy moved a position under Lambert here. The Sand King moved under Monkey King, who is now in first place for net worth, and that is probably worse than Juggernaut starting to make a little headway here. He has to start farming at a very high speed to really be that competitive with Monkey King here. This is going to be interesting to see how Juggernaut and Monkey King fare late game against each other, because unlike most situations where you can say, oh, you know, cleanly scale higher, there's a blink reveal on LC, dual win on Mickle, that ain't great. Unlike most games where you can say for a fact, okay, you know, Jug's going to go later than Monkey King here. Well, I would say they scale to almost the exact same level. And really? Yeah, I would say so. I would say if it's 60 minutes, I'm going to fear both about equally. And then I'm going to go so far as to say, usually in that sort of situation, you can say, well, the matchup, but I don't think you can really call the matchup between Monkey King and Juggernaut. I think they're just kind of, I don't know, not incompatible towards each other, but, you know, they don't counter each other at all. There is no counterplay either side of this affair. Oh, we're just randomly gonna get hit. Ouch. Gotta take an Advil after that one. So if this goes late, very, very hard to call this.
No, DaBush. Okay.
What
yeah,
do you mean,
spin castles. I forgot that spin castles X.
Yep.
Because it still has the X on the ground, but no, spin cancels it.
And even if it, for some reason, didn't, he'd still just spin through the torrent, so. Detection is becoming a real big issue for dealing with Sand King in this particular game. Feels like pretty much every time Sand King's in a sandstorm, nobody is ever able to see him.
Come on, Venno, just get that dust.
I mean, right now it doesn't mean anything. Even if they know where Sand King is, they can't do anything to him, so it would be a waste here. But I mean, it's like, you know, we saw earlier, Godlike Matt drops the boat on Sand King, and it doesn't do anything, and he's just sitting there like, well, I tried. Sand King has his heals. He's also going for a BKB now. Notably, he's going all in on just defensive items here.
I mean, it's always best to have dust on hand when you have free slots.
That's true.
You never know when you might need it.
Monkey King finishing up his BKB here rather soon.
Go for me.
Wants to get out on the field ASAP, it seems.
Dire's middle tower is under attack.
Follow me, says Vex. Who is leading them away from Monkey King. Now, is that sad or what? Gonna
top tower
maybe, yep, just walking to Venno here. Get a
Dazzle can't get there in time.
Dazzle desperately in need of a 4-staff in this game so far. Feels like the amount of times that Dazzle has almost saved somebody are getting a little difficult to count. Matt actually kind of mistimed his shuttle bit there.
Vex is left alone, but no one can do anything to him. He's just too tanky.
Here comes the first Monkey King ult. Gonna knock out Hollywood pretty much instantly. Patrio's gonna go down behind the tower.
See Vex's items?
You'll always be my
No.
charge.
No. Wow, he doesn't even have that much.
Unfortunately, taking Dazzle is probably not worth losing the Juggernaut for, especially not worth losing him to Kunkka. That ain't good.
Trickster's rune of illusion.
It was the first real Monkey King ult in this game, and it pretty much led to 2 kills, including one on a pause 1, so that's not looking too good.
Radiant's middle tower is under attack. Radiant structures are fortified.
I'm gonna try flip out here for this T2. Probably the right thing to do. They can't really do anything without the wave there. Too many people are starting to come up. Mickle just gonna go top to try and push out this wave instead.
And we haven't really seen the bush flash farming that needed to happen from the moment he got that maelstrom.
Dire's
No.
structures are
Basically, all he's done since he's got that maelstrom, he built a Yasha and died in a fight. That's pretty much it.
Bad form.
He is quite far behind his competitor in Monkey King at the moment. Dazzle's going to use a shard to slow push out this tower again.
Radiant's
A good
top
use
tower
of resources,
You're nothing but
especially while this little skirmish here at mid is happening. Which just leads to the death of Hollywood and the death of a lot of wards. Free money, baby. Pages has successfully knocked out the tower here. Now I'm going to wait in the jungle. Put up an observer there. Not really sure what she's doing right now. She's going to cut the wave, maybe? Dangerous time to cut the wave. Very dangerous time to cut this wave, but I believe that's what we're doing here. Well, Matt and company are going to be pushing in this spot T2.
Radiant's
She didn't
bottom
actually
tower
cut
is
that.
under
She's
attack.
just TPing back home. That was a little weird. I'm not really sure what that was about.
a tool to teach.
DaBush just lost so much of his HP from Ember Spirit looking at him nasty. He is now going to run like hell back home. And is fast enough where he can just kind of do that. Matt's going to check Roche nothing here for over 2 more minutes, buddy. You are way early. I think if there's one person on MK-Ulty who's been improving a lot over the course of the season, it probably is Pages. Like, I think she's falling into a niche now where it's like she still is going to be putting out vision like a Stepford support. I mean, look at all these red eyes all over the map. Look at all these red circles all over the map. And Pohohoro, on the other hand, doing a good job as well, at least with the sentry side of the equation, though it's finding it hard to get observers to stay up, right? Hollywood also helping with that, I should say. I do think that's mostly Pohohoro on DaBush. But Patriots are still getting that Stepford support style of gameplay, like in terms of the vision, in terms of the support side of the equation here, and yet is also, I feel like, having a lot more impact on games in the recent weeks than previously. That's pretty big. Goodbye, Hollywood. That was a lot to drop on an innocent man. Well, I mean, there's nothing innocent about those dickheads at BBC, but you know. There is absolutely nothing that can stop this man. Support line gonna go down, and this T2 is as open gets. Big problem on DaBush right now. The only person who has any money, it feels like, is Sand King, and all of Sand King's money. I mean, look what he's buying now. This is almost certainly going to be a halberd, right? All of his money is going into defensive items. All he can do with this money is just stop the bleeding, and the guy who really could do something with the cash is just not really getting all of it.
Radiant structures
He has finished
are
up his Manta style at the very least, which is going to help things for him.
is under attack.
Sanjin Yasha finished up on Monkey King here.
It's so sad to see Juggernaut 5k down on Monkey King.
Yeah. Can we get 50 likes?
I was gonna say that.
Bow. And T2 bot goes down.
Has fallen.
It's gonna make the jungle a lot hairier of a place to be for our old Juggernaut. Especially with his outpost taken.
As if it wasn't bad enough already.
Right. Speaking of hairy, let's check out Monkey King.
Radiant are scanning.
You know, the funny thing is, despite how hairy Monkey King is, right? I mean, he's covered in the stuff. He actually has less hair than Lambert does in real life. You didn't hear it from me, but I got an insider. Huge unibrow.
I see.
You want to talk about DaBush? There's that bush on top of his head.
Oh my lord.
Katie, I'm gaslighting you. Wait, sorry, Randy, I'm gaslighting you.
Oh.
Great.
Almost.
Yep. 12 seconds until Roche is coming back out the bush, trying to take full control of the area. Not the bush, MK-Ulty trying to take full control of the area. Five-man smoke coming out. We walking simply right at Dazzle. Yep. Pool goes out, Dazzle gonna go down. It's a big stun from Monkey King personally, but doesn't mean that much. Honestly, this wouldn't be a bad time for Dazzle to just buy back and come continue to deal with this, basically.
It's a big part of having Legion on your team. Your smoke ganks are just so effective, and I think that's how DaBush, like, gets the advantage to win this game.
Right.
It's just getting those duels on the supports, especially Dazzle.
Just cannot do the Conker combo on Sanking anymore. There's just too much that can stop that, so that is good for them. There's one advantage they get from having a bunch of defensive items with the Sand King, it is that this skirmish around the Roche Pit has lasted so long that Dazzle's actually back.
Wow.
The bush kind of
Let's
pulling
see
out now.
the duel damage.
Alright. 60 for LC, 10 for Ember.
Hey!
Hi!
Maybe we should ignore the Ember one.
Okay. This is a big duel.
That never happened.
Dazzle's here though! Oh, the perfect timing on the shallow grave! Oh, he still goes down to the back line, but man, that's like an 8 as bad as it could have been. Okay, it's getting worse though. Oh no, it's getting worse again! Oh, Manoy is trying so hard to get out of sight here, out of mind. And he's actually gone, they can't do anything about him. Can't really do anything about this either. Yep, just kinda has to watch Shakira leave. It's very unfortunate for MK-Ulty, and I would say that's gonna be a victory, yep. Victory for DaBush there. But again, just all goes to Manoy, and just all he can do with it, it seems like, is build up those defensive items. I tell you this much, when Kunkka finishes this BKB, I think things are going to start changing pretty dramatically. That is the kind of fight that you would need to have at late game. You're going to stop Monkey King here. You know, everybody just kind of goes down around him, he just can't do anything.
Radiant are scanning.
Radiant are scanning. DaBush is kind of making overtures. I want to go back to Roche here. MK-Ulty again trying to just kind of clean things out here. You remember when it was a 5k disparity between Jug and Monkey King?
Yeah, it got worse.
Yeah, it's 7k now. Monkey King just finished Ags, which means that he is going to have, like Sand King Ags actually, he is going to have irritable bowel syndrome and occasionally just poop out a Monkey King. So I guess it's really like irritable pregnancy or something.
What the
Running in
fuck?
Roche.
That's something I wish I ever heard. Irritable pregnancy.
Huge amount of pings coming out. Hollywood's been spotted coming out of the pit.
A tool to teach.
Guy like Matt going to investigate. And, he shouldn't have done that.
Conker. Conker.
The Monkey King ult is gonna come out. It's just gonna go haywire here.
Hollywood immediately dies.
Yep. Pahaharo going down on the back line. Monkey King is doing a great job just splitting these guys up. Oh, this could be bad for DaBush. It's gonna Omni here. Omni accomplishes nothing. DaBush still on the run. Pager's caught on the back
You'd
line.
hope that a full solo Omni on the enemy pos 1 would kill them at this juncture, wouldn't you?
Probably, yeah.
No, it's Monkey King.
Unfortunately, Juggernaut is just too fast to catch. Also, he's gonna win a free duel here. Oh, Manoy. Oh no, Manoy! And down he goes. Wicked Sick goes right in Ember Spirit's pockets. Puts him back above the Juggernaut. And Lambert is looking entirely unkillable at this point. I don't think he's been even in incredible danger in quite a while.
Vex is doing a really good job with these, just getting these, like, sneaky duels in, and, you know, Vex is actually someone, out of many people in the league, who I think his badge isn't as high as it should be.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, there's there's a few people in this particular game who play higher than their MMR. I think there's a lot of them. I think
Peaches is the obvious one.
Yeah, I think there's like most of the support line because, you know, I know this person is probably going to be surprised to hear it, but I believe that Akiro in this game probably plays above their MMR. I believe Lambert plays really far above his MMR.
You think so?
Oh yeah, I think Lambert has like 2K, 2.5 or something, because he tilts a lot and he gets mad at his team. It's like with US Danny, it's like with Luke's. Like his MMR is not an accurate reflection of his skill level. It's an accurate depiction of his ability to get along with people. This is a very brave duel, but unfortunately, as sort of mentioned at the top of the show, dueling Monkey King is a really stupid idea. And so now, you know, just let's make this worse. Give him 20 duel damage. And a million question marks come out. Konga, by the way, has Aegis here, which is definitely the right call. There's one piece of this MK-Ulty puzzle that's been falling apart so far. It's been that Godlike Matt has been taking swills at the top of a lot of these fights. Giving him the Aegis here is at least going to keep him alive long enough to finish this BKB, and once that does, I think there's just not really much hope that that's happening anymore.
Radiant's middle tower is under attack. Radiant's middle tower has fallen.
Mid T3 is under siege here. Nobody on DaBush willing to buy back for it.
Radiant's middle tower has fallen.
And, you know, the fact that the Monkey King clones also hit buildings is pretty nasty.
Has fallen.
You have nasty, very nasty fizz damage coming out of these guys. I'll say this, right? I think in an alternate world, if I get another chance to pick here, I think I'd pick like a Snapfire or something over Veno. There's one thing here that I do feel like just kind of sticks out like a sore thumb on MK-Ulty. I don't know what the Veno's really doing here, besides being a Yules and getting dueled. BKB up on Kunkka. What do you think, Katie?
I mean, that's just Veno late game, isn't it?
That's Veno the whole game, though.
Never refuse good given.
I don't know, I think,
Vex very hungry here.
there's not much this Veno needs to do.
That's interesting. They just took out the entire line down here with items. ate the support line. There's not much Venno needs to do, but MK-Ulty is very brave. They're still trying to go in on this. Oh my god, LC's just melting. Mickle's assassinating people. Just got a triple kill, just 8 jug. That would, oh my god. Oh, that's gotta be a morale break moment, right? Like, that is bad. When you have a 3v5 and 4 of you or 5 die, very casually in what is really a 1v1. Oh my god. Or like really just Mickle just doing a lot of legwork there. They're trying to finish here. Manoy's gonna send a question mark. He's confused. Why are you guys finishing? All love! Hollywood's calling GG. I don't know if that's like a formal GG. Getting buybacks. Kunkka called the boat upon himself. DaBush melted again. Manoy just sits there and watches as his Aegis falls down. And that, as they say, is that.
GG.
All log, guys.
All log. Love.
Question mark? Oof. So. Oh, jeez. This looked really bad. What you really have here is a game of 2 drafts, right? In this series, you have a game of 2 drafts. And game 1, MK-Ulty has an almost laughably bad draft. It just gets, you know, it should get completely rolled over and just die, but, like, they still do okay coming back out of it. In game 2, Manoy has like a 5 out of 10 draft, and MK-Ulty has like a decent lineup. I don't think anybody's going to look at this and say this is the god team. And MK-Ulty just walks all the fuck over them, it felt like. That was just a massacre. Most of DaBush's kills are on the support line. I mean, almost all of DaBush's kills are on the support line in this game. It is just...
The team or the guy?
The team. All of
Right.
DaBush Did 9/11's kills are on the MK-Ulty line in this game. There are a few weaknesses in victory for MK-Ulty. I do think later on in the game, Patriots did kind of fall into more of a Stepford support role, though that had a lot to do with the fact that she was getting picked off at the top of every single team fight, so you can't blame her that much in this particular case. And it felt like Crazy King was in that Stepford support role this whole game. Like, it felt like he was really just doing nothing but carrying support items and occasionally thinking about ulting, and yeah, it just didn't really feel like it was doing anything except making Shaman and Jakiro sweat. That was about it. The Monkey King died 1 time in the entire game. Ember Spirit and Kunkka died 6 cumulative times, and I think 1 apiece of those were in lane. The MK-Ulty cores, they just weren't able to be stopped, it felt like, and this is a very unfortunate thing about some of Manoy's hero pool, because it's like, if you're playing against an organized team, I don't think Sand King can possibly carry you from mid. Like, not unless you're playing in the greatest Sand King game in history. In a game where 2 guys are going to be out of formation all the time, and one of those guys is going to have a magic resistance skill anyway. Nah, there is not a reality like where Manoy could possibly just carry this game from there. Even going as well as he did, I mean, he was in first place for net worth for most of the game and was not far from Lambert when he took over for a large part of it. There was a large part of this game where, you know, he was still at least nominally relevant. And there was a large part of this game where he was really good at playing keep away, but the problem is that that's all he had. He had tricks. He had, you know, funnies to pull out. He was not going to be able to seriously do anything about Ember Spirit if the game went on long enough. He was certainly not going to be able to do anything about the Monkey King if the game went on long enough. And even Kunkka, really the one core that he did, you know, he was able to get, you know, get his work done on. It just felt like just eventually got knocked out there. And on top of that, the LC pick, it was just too early, I think. I think if they hold the LC pick to later, well, I think, frankly, if they hold the LC pick to later, they just don't pick the LC. They pick somebody else instead.
Right.
But I think if they hold the LC pick to later, I think a lot of things go better for them in this game, because, like I said, and he was playing it really well. Like, this is bad LC game. I can tell you this for a fact. This is a horrible LC game. The fact that he was able to win...
Who would you want over LC?
Who would you want over LC in a game like this? I do... It's got to be somebody who can do some soft scale. I mean, it's got to be like run the Slardar back from the first game, because he can scale a little bit.
CK, oh, that was banned. But they banned it.
Yeah.
Right?
CK3, I do not like CK3. I'm gonna have to say that every time we talk about it.
You
Bristleback,
hate
I
Crusader
think.
Kings 3.
Yeah, I do. Bristleback, I think he scales enough in that position. That would have been a good place for him. Just somebody like that. Somebody with more scaling that doesn't have anything to do with the dual damage, basically. Like,
I think a Bristleback would have got run over even.
I mean, yeah. It's not great. I don't think you're... I think the core of the problem, the crux of the issue is that they just don't have any way to anything to do about like all the cores. It's the exact same story in reverse. It's like last time, every answer you had for Medusa, it was one less answer you had for Huskar, for DaBush. This time, it's every answer you have for Monkey King is one less answer for Ember Spirit, is one less answer for Kunkka. I don't know. I think you just have to have... I think the key to this is not have a better 3. I think it's have a better 2 and 3. I think. Actually, no, I think Bristleback, until Kunkka gets the Silver Edge, Bristleback is going to be doing okay. The Venomancer against him sucks, but he can build around that. Everybody else, it's like, whatever. You can scrap with them. It's going to hurt against the Monkey King, but it's only going to hurt for short periods of time unless he has a lot of stuns, and a lot of them are good. In particular, nothing is going to make Monkey King cry than he throws out his stick and it hits your back, and it does, like, normal auto-attack damage. Even with Jingu. So, yeah. I mean, that's basically the long and short of it. Manoy was the only person who it just felt like this game was doing anything for on DaBush Did 9/11. And I think that's a trap his team can't fall into if he's going to be picking heroes like this. I know he is very averse to picking a more traditional 2, but I do think a more traditional 2. And there's a very solid chance he wins this game.
Like Manoy doesn't pick the general carry 2s.
Yeah. I mean, it doesn't even need to be like a carry 2. It just needs to be somebody who scales better than Sand King. I mean, you could run like Quap. You could run like one of the other spirits. Like you could run Void, for example. And have a decent time with your life. But yeah, that's it. Thank you, Randy, for being here both games and not making me wait until goddamn midnight just to tell me you couldn't make game 2, you son of a bitch.
Hey, that's what I do.
Exactly. And special thanks to you all out there. So, if you're somebody wants to learn Dota 2 at a casual or more competitive level, go to ld2l.gg to sign up today. It's too late to get into Season 13. Sorry to say.
But
I've heard
Season 13 is almost over.
Yep. But Season 14, not far off. There are rumors that Season 14 might be delayed a little bit. I don't know if those are true. I think that's just kind of speculative at the moment. And, yeah, this would usually be where I would talk about our sponsor this week, but, I mean, again, these guys at the BBC, right? I mean, you look at a couple of them this game, alright? These guys, they're in this organization that they call the Big Brain Club, and they're bringing out Sand King Min in a game like this against the most serious team on this lineup? That's supposed to be Big Brain? Sand King against Ember Spirit? You already knew Ember Spirit was on the field even. I don't know how Big Brain that one is. The big brain club is like drafting LC in the first phase and not banning out counters. This big, especially when Page's probably signature hero is one of them. This big brain club is drafting these guys like Hollywood, this little hero puddling doofus. All right, let me tell you about Hollywood, okay? You see
Goddamn, dude.
Shadow Shaman, all right? That's about the size of Hollywood in real life, all right? This guy, he would be 5'3" if he wasn't hunched over all the time, all right? You know, you look at this guy when he's walking down the street, you'd think that there is a cathedral in Notre Dame that bells aren't going to be ringing today, all right? Like, this guy just can't say enough good things about him. So, with that being said, we'll see you next time for very few games because most of the finals are being casted. We'll be seeing you with Wheel Snipe Silly taking on Hunter Bounty's Hidden Laptop. So that should be oodles of fun.